So here are 3 things that will help you get your US visa approved. The first thing you want to do is to pay attention to your visa application form. It is very important because it would form the basis, for the questions that the visa, officer would ask you during your visa interview. So you do not want to neglect the information that you put in there. Where they require more information, like for example when you're completing your employment and then they ask you, you would find a column where you will be asked, your job description. What do you do for your organization? How long have you worked in this organization? Do not neglect it. And also don't go to your CV and copy verbatim and just drop it there. Instead, be expressive, talk about what you do. I am, a corporate compliance attorney, and what I do is that I provide, legal advisory services. Just explain what you do, make it interactive. Don't go copy bullet points from your CV and then you just dump it there. They want to make it interactive. What do you do for your organization? You just need to explain what you do in the simplest way. Don't neglect that portion when they ask you what you do. By the time they ask you about previous employment, you find that maybe people, once they get tired of completing the form, they just let it go by. No, be deliberate. Pick up if you cannot remember, pick up your CV and complete the information about your previous employer, what you did, when you were in that employment, and the period of time that you worked there. Put dates. Like I always advise people, when you complete your visa application form, after you have submitted it, download a copy for yourself, because it would help you when making your next visa application. It is easy to just pick it up and make reference to the information you already had there, 2 years, 5 years down the line. So that would actually make that process shorter for you, because you would see what you had completed before, and then you would just maybe update it in the new form. So do not neglect your visa, your DS-160. Pay attention to it. Respond to all the questions that you are asked. When you're required to give more information, make it brief, but make it genuine and believable. When you're completing where you're going to be staying, do not just go and pick any accommodation. Make sure you have a valid, let's say you say you're staying in a hotel, make sure you have a valid hotel booking. And then when you're completing the address of the hotel, you're including the phone number and then the email address for that hotel. Because if you have a booking that is not valid and then they pick up the phone and call that hotel to find out if you have a reservation and then it says no, your visa application would be denied. So you don't want to make obvious mistakes that would ruin your chances. So if you're looking for one trick to get an approval, it is that you should not neglect your DS-160, because it would form the basis of the questions that you're going to be asked during your interview. And so you would ask that what are the areas, when you attend the interview, what would the visa officer be looking out for? First, of course, would be the reason why you want to visit, the US. They would consider why you want to go to the US, and then they would look at your visa application form and then ask you, just to find out, okay, you said here you were going to go, but no problem, I've seen why you said, okay, why is it important for you to go to the US? And then that is when you should pick that up and then you should shine. Your answer should be concise. You want to be specific about the particular place that you are going, and then the reason why you are going there. Oh, I'm attending a conference in Houston, Texas. I am attending a seminar in this place. So you want to be specific about where you're going, and then they are going to, once they have considered the reason why you're going, they are going to be looking at, okay, what strong ties, do you have back home to ensure that when you go, you would come back home? Do you have a job? Okay, this job that you have, how long have you been working here? this job that you have, is it a sustainable job? Do you earn well enough, so you would not just go and then you elope? So they want to see that you have, what strong ties do you have to your home country? Are you married with children? Do you have a family that you take care of here? Where do you have the strongest ties? Do you have family in the US, or where is your strongest tie? Is it in your home country, or is it in the US where you're going to? They are going to be looking at that too. They're also going to be looking at the security questions. The security questions they ask you, okay, have you worked with any government organization? Have you worked in the military? Have you ever had any serious voiced your opinion in a way that, have you been part of any terrorist group? Have you been accused? Have you been all that security questions? They are going to want to look. Have you ever been denied a visa? Things like that. They are going to be looking at those security questions to see, have you worked in the media? Have you been a journalist? They would ask you all that. Yes, you are required to tick, so once there's any indication that any of those answers could be a yes, they would want to know why. They would be really interested in that information. There's a reason why they indicated there, so that you can disclose. So those are areas that they would look at, to see, okay, what risk, what if this person comes in, what is the exposure, to us as a country? Who is this person? They would want to know more about you before they admit you into their country. So they would look at the security question. They would also look at your status. Are you single, or are you married? It doesn't matter. You don't need to be married to get a visa. So you shouldn't feel the need to lie. You are who you are. You are single, you are single. You are married, you're married, You just need to show that you have strong ties. Either way, married people get denied visas, single people get granted visas. So don't feel the need to be one or the other. Be who you are, and just make sure that you're presenting, a good, case for yourself. So yes, they will look at your status and your circumstance, because all that would matter. And then they would also look at you, if you're able to, the confidence that you kind of exude. They would look at you, how you answer the questions, if you're making eye contact, if you are believable, and if considering all this, they would consider all that. That would be your performance at that interview, and then they would determine in less than 5 minutes if they want to give you a visa, or if you qualify for a visa or not. And then you tell me, 5 minutes is not enough to convince them. Well, it is what it is. They have many people that they have to consider. That's why you don't want to waste their time once you're there. You want to make sure that you put on your A game, because you have a limited window of time to convince them to give you a visa. So you want to make sure that you show up, and then you show up well, with confidence. If you would like to know the common questions that you would be, you should expect, I would include the link in the description box. You can go watch. I would also include it here. If you also want to find out, more tips on how to, make sure you get a visa, there is a playlist. I would include the playlist as well, so you can go watch, and then just watch it. There are people who just watch these videos here and then go about attending these interviews, and then they're successful. You find their comments, here. So you would be next, and you could be one of them. And what must you do? Watch this video, take the lessons with you, and I wish you the best outcome. Have a good day. Bye.